Naruto versus Luffy is easily one of the most talked about debates that I've ever seen. Like, it is on the same debate level as Goku versus Saitama, believe it or not. But in this video, I will do my personal take and my personal opinion on this debate and who I think actually wins this fight. I know this video will probably get some hate for it, but to be honest, I really don't care on how much hate I get. So, anyways, let's just get straight into this video. And one last thing, if you want to, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by this year, so I'd really appreciate it if you could. Again, you don't have to, but I'd really appreciate it if you would. Let's start off by scaling the One Piece Earth first, just to kind of give you guys an idea. Obviously, the One Piece Earth is larger than our own planet, with statements like the Alabasta River being 30 miles long and 50 kilometers, depending on what translation you use, and with other statements like there being around 100k islands in the One Piece world, or 10 to 20 million islands, like I said, depending on what translation you use. So using that scale and some pixel calculations, the One Piece world can be arguably 2.7 times larger than our own planet, with Jupiter kind of being a low to mid end to this, and the size of our sun being kind of a high end, if anything. So that's how big the One Piece world is. Now for Luffy's AP, we could scale him off of old Whitebeard. In some data books, Whitebeard was stated that Whitebeard without Haki and just his devil fruit was stated to not only shake the world, but it also says that he could split the lands and the seas. So it is safe to assume that Whitebeard is multi-continental. And since Luffy in Gear 5 was stated to surpass Kaido, Kaido being equal or relative to Whitebeard, then Luffy should at a ridiculous low end be multi-continental in terms of AP. Now for planetary to large planetary Luffy, using Sengoku's statement that Whitebeard with just his devil fruit no Haki had the power to destroy the world, but with the data book statements that I also mentioned earlier, you could make an argument that these are planetary since he does have the force to do these feats, and like Sengoku even states, has the power to destroy this very world. And since, like I said, Luffy surpassed Kaido in Gear 5, who like I said is either equal or relative to old Whitebeard, then Luffy would also scale to this levels of AP. Now for star level Luffy, it kind of just depends on what calculation you use, but it's basically kind of like the One Piece world being as large as Jupiter, though it is now as large as our sun. However, you would need so much more proof to actually prove that the One Piece world is as large or possibly bigger than our own sun, so star level Luffy is kind of a high end if anything. So to recap on Luffy's AP, we have him at multi-continental at a ridiculous low end if we want to take it off of the data books about Whitebeard only. Low end is planetary level if you take the Sengoku statements plus the data book statements and plus the One Piece world being 2.7 times larger than our own Earth. At a low to mid end. At a mid to high end is large planetary if you think that the One Piece world is as large as Jupiter plus all the statements that I also mentioned. And finally, we have at the high end, which is star level Luffy, and that the One Piece world is as large as the sun, if not even larger, though that's possibly, plus all the statements I mentioned. So now that I covered over his AP, let's get into his speed. For starters, Luffy is 100% FTL, period. Not only does he dodge laser beams in the pre-time skip Sabaody, but Enel's lightning bolts were stated by Nami to be as fast as light. Not only is this valid because Nami has the #1 IQ when it comes to weather, or at least that's what I know of, but while Luffy was supposed to be weighed down by a golden belt on his hands, and Enel, while he was fully prepared for the attack, said it's too fast. So just for context, if you're using this statement, then a pre-time skip pre-gear Luffy is already FTL. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go back to post-time skip Luffy. You could scale him off of Kizaru, who has been said in data books to fight at this light speed, and like I just said before, Luffy is already dodging laser beams in pre-time skip, so that plus the 2-year time skip should make Luffy FTL plus. Not only that, but using the amp/multipliers that Luffy gets with his gears, then you could even try to argue for massively faster than light speeds or MFTL speeds, though that's a bit of a wank if anything. So just for a recap, Luffy's speed is FTL at the bare minimum, with MFTL speeds being his best. So now that I covered his speed, let's get into his hacks/abilities. For Luffy's hacks and abilities, for starters, Luffy has access to every version of Haki, that being Armament, Observation, and Conqueror's Haki. And Luffy has the advanced form of every version of Haki. Advanced Armament Haki allows you to bypass durability, and it also stores the durability of himself along of the strength of his attacks, which basically gives him durability negation. Advanced Observation Haki, which allows Luffy to sharpen all 5 of your senses, but more specifically your eyesight, and it also allows you to read your opponent's movement. And you're also able to see into the future as well. And Conqueror's Haki, which allows Luffy to use their willpower to instantly incapacitate weaker opponents. And Advanced Conqueror's Haki, which is basically like Armament Haki, but it could go even further distances. However, the one that makes his ability / hacks pretty overpowered is his Gear 5 transformation. In his Gear 5 state, Luffy is able to turn his imagination into reality, with the only downfall being that his power is only limited to his imagination, meaning that whatever knowledge Luffy knows, he could turn into reality. Not only that, but in Gear 5, he's also able to revive himself back to life, and he's shown this during his fight against Kaido. However, I do think this is limited to an extent, but we'll have to see until we get more information on Gear 5. So, for a recap, Luffy's AP is multi-continental to star level, Luffy's speed is FTL to MFTL ranges of speed, and also has a good base of hacks and abilities. So now, let's move on to the knucklehead ninja himself, Naruto. For Naruto's AP, we can scale him off of Kaguya. Kaguya is the same person who was able to reboot / erase her dimensions using her Truth Seeker orbs. This is then supported by the 4th data book that since the orb had all 5 elements, meaning it had yin and yang energy, enabling it to destroy the world into nothing. These dimensions, by the way, do have a star and even have day and night cycles in them in the Naruto OVA, which is canon. So this feat on its own is star level plus in terms of AP. Now, many people try to argue and debunk this by saying it was done via hacks, which is kinda true. However, keep in mind you do still need the amount of chakra energy to form that orb, so Kaguya would scale to this, and anyone try to disprove this would still need so much more evidence just to prove it. Then we move on to Momoshiki, who was stated to surpass a threat than Kaguya, and Naruto with only half of his chakra was still able to overpower Momoshiki while he's fused. This would make Naruto's AP large star level to potentially solar system levels of AP. So for a recap, Naruto's AP at his lowest would be star level, with his highest being solar system. So now, it's time for Naruto's speed. Naruto as a child can be scaled to Haku, who was stated to move at light speed with his ice mirrors, and Itachi's water bullet, which is also stated to move at the speed of light. So considering this, it's reasonable to say that Naruto as a child could be already scaled to the FTL ranges of speed, and adding on the one-tailed cloak amp, which is a 10 times amp off of his base, then that would make Naruto FTL plus, arguably, and something like Sage Mode being a 2 times amp off of the Curse Mark, since Sage Mode is a refined version of the Curse Mark, and this is a low ball off of Naruto's training. And also the Sage Mode amp, if we consider that KCM is 2 times stronger than Sage Mode, as well as KCM 2 and Sage of 6 Paths, we can easily get Naruto up to 160 times faster than the speed of light, or in the MFTL ranges of speed. And like I said, this is a ridiculous low ball, so let me say why. If we take the fact that Six Tails Naruto is vastly beyond Sage Mode Naruto, since Six Tails Naruto does do better in his fight against Pain, after this it was stated that Naruto and Pain is in a class of their own, which means that no one at that moment was on par with Naruto or Pain. And if we take into effect that base Jiraiya is relative to Four Tails Naruto, which would be consistent since Orochimaru kinda holding his own against Four Tails Naruto, and this fact gets further proven when Jiraiya states that a Four Tails Naruto almost killed him at one point in their training. So Sage Mode Naruto should be above a Four Tails amp, around the level of a Five Tails Naruto. We also know that in the War Arc, the chakra cloaks that Naruto was handing out was above a 3 times amp onto Kakashi, so using above a 3 times amp, we can immediately assume a 4 times amp off of each tail that Naruto gains, which is a low ball, but considering the fact that just one shinobi that Naruto landed chakra over to. Not only that, but we also know that Naruto without Kurama has 4 times as more chakra than Kakashi, but whenever he taps into the 9-tailed amp, he has around 100 times more chakra. So that means Kurama has at least 25 times more chakra than Naruto. And since Sage Mode, like I said earlier, is around a 5-tails amp, we could take Naruto and Kurama's chakra difference, which is 25 times, multiply that by the QB chakra cloak amp, which is 4 times, and do that 5 times more. So Naruto's speed as a low ball should be around 102,400 times faster than the speed of light or in the MFTO plus ranges of speed. Again, this is a low ball, and Naruto is much faster than this. But for now, this is Naruto's speed, and I will leave it here for now. I won't go too much into Naruto's hacks and abilities, so I'll just give a quick rundown. For Naruto's hacks, he has things like regeneration, durability negation, power nullification, clone manipulation, and also has low scale erasure due to his true seeker orbs. And also in Sage Mode, he has precognition. And Naruto's durability negation is mostly just a Rasen Shuriken, which would have to catch its opponents after he throws it at them. And this wouldn't really matter since Naruto is already hundreds of thousands of times faster than Luffy, so at this point, it really doesn't matter. It's not necessarily on who has more hacks, but who has the better and stronger hacks. And well, if during this fight Naruto uses power nullification and durability negation, and him already being hundreds of thousands of times faster than Luffy, that's basically a one tap or one shot for anyone really. If you've made it this far into the video, at this point the winner is pretty obvious. It's easily Naruto. As much as I love Luffy, bro, Luffy is getting shit on during this fight. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Luffy, I love One Piece in general, but I really just don't see how he could compete against Naruto. Naruto just outscales him in almost everything, really. He has higher AP, he's hundreds of thousands of times faster than him, and even if he were to give every single stat, like hacks, durability, everything else to Luffy, it wouldn't really matter since Luffy wouldn't be able to hit these hacks, since Naruto, as I just explained earlier, is already at a low ball in the MFTO plus ranges of speed, so it doesn't really matter. And I know some of you guys are probably about to go in the comments arguing about, wait, but what about Future Sight? He could predict Naruto. Okay, Luffy could literally get hit while he's using Future Sight. This happened during his fight against Kaido, so shut the fuck up if you're trying to argue with that. So, in conclusion, Naruto wins no to low difficulty.